Good evening. It's April 13th, 2022. Welcome back to Boomer Rex Tonight, your nearly daily source for news and politics. Hey, asshole, what separates our show from other millennial news podcasts?
That we think that they should make more aerospace AKs.
That too. We also have a boomer, and not just any boomer. We have Mr. Boomer Rex himself.
Help me. Help me.
You two eat, sleep, and breathe politics, and I'm learning. That's three unique perspectives we share along with the facts from our literal oval table. We need to get a round table again. This is driving me
Wouldn't
crazy.
fit as well.
No, we'll just get one of those small side tables.
One of the art.
Yeah,
Fine.
that's true. And it's
All
nice and heavy.
And I ain't heard
No,
about
but it's a
son.
little
I
top
can make
heavy.
a fucking nickel scream harder than
Did
anybody.
I already said let's dig right into our headlines?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so meanwhile in Florida, the family that hate crimes together goes to jail together.
All right.
And should be tarred and feathered and ran out of society as an example, you know? Not that punishment stops crime, but would be fun to do. For me, anyway. Fuck them.
This would absolutely stop crime. People don't survive being tarred.
This is the family that blinded the gay guy.
So a 44-year-old female, a 43-year-old male, and a 21-year-old man hate
Who
crime.
is their son, I believe.
Yes. Hate crimed a 31-year-old so hard he's blind forever. They broke into his home, abducted or imprisoned the guy, then abused and beat him till he nearly died. Terrorized was the term
I
they
would say
used.
this is one of those times I agree with an eye for an eye shit.
Yeah.
Right, go in, give me 45 minutes. I can kick the living shit out of them, and I promise at the end they'll be blind.
Oh, and aggressively, dying. But, that's just me.
The guy, did they kill the guy?
Nope.
No, they
No.
beat him to within an inch of his life.
No, again.
He's just
death,
blind.
And death doesn't bother anyone who's conscious.
Yeah.
And disfigured his face.
Sure, I am more than willing to do that too.
There are countries where they would pour acid in their eyes.
Yes. And I
As a
think if we're not
punishment.
going to be a better country, then we should aim for that. You can do it yourself, the internet. Vendetta. Do not do crimes, the internet.
Again, an eye for an eye.
Yeah, no, this is so
Isn't
disgusting
that
to
good
me.
biblical
This is
justice?
so horrifying and terrible that all of you allies out there need to keep an eye out for this type
Or
of
your friends.
behavior.
Yeah.
If you see this out in public, fucking stop it. Not saying that you're going to see somebody beating somebody
gonna
up,
say.
but if you see somebody being aggressive towards someone that you know or assume to be gay or trans because of what the other person's saying or whatever, interfere. Intervene, stop it, make sure that this person understands that this is unacceptable
Understand
behavior
shit.
in
You
society.
aren't willing to do violence, you will be the peasants of those that are.
Yeah.
Rise the fuck up.
Yeah. And all you LGBTQ people like myself,
Get it, God.
we need to defend ourselves and we need to defend each other.
Yes.
So get out there and don't be afraid to stand up and tell people to go fuck themselves.
Yes.
Because
And help
if
them find their way if they need.
if these people think that LGBTQ are soft targets, this is only going to get worse. So make sure it's understood that we are not soft targets
left-
and we will fight back.
The left's inability to shut the fuck up and stop saying demonstrably untrue things like violence doesn't solve anything. Right, for the majority of Americans, violence has been an incredibly effective tool, right, from their observations. It's gotten whoever
Well,
uses
if you're
it-
getting beat the fuck up, violence is the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
No. The only way to stop violence is with violence, and no one can
and if you're
convince
not
me
winning,
otherwise.
then your allies need to stand up, close in, and help.
If
Yep.
it's a fair fight, you already fucked up.
Yeah.
No, wait, hold on. Don't do ambushes, the internet.
What?
All right. So while he's turning off his beeper, which he should have done already,
Check, see if your phone's on stop.
mine is.
Well, I see asshole was setting his to stun.
No, mine's on my earphone, so I can make all the noise at once.
Yeah, mine too. But I also turned mine on sound. But anyway, tell me about Britain is one of Putin's fiercest critics. Sorry.
And its politicians are getting millions in Russia-linked cash. So this is one of those where the thing you have to remember about Britain is, first of all, they're right over there near the Russians.
Right.
Second, they've long had a fairly classed society. And third, they were a banking center for that region of the world. So thank God the damned Russians bought their citizenships in the UK and stopped there instead of coming to the US. Because I promise you that the Republican Party would have been more than happy to sell them citizenship.
Have done.
Yeah.
What the fuck do we think the point of investor
That's right.
citizenship is about?
Wasn't that one of the things the Trump kids were traveling all over the world and selling U.S. citizenship? Well, the program, right?
I don't think they started that program.
I know they didn't start the program. They started the business that profited
I
off
assume
it.
we started it in the 80s for the Japanese, but...
So, anyway, to take a specific example, as recently as December the 13th, Johnson's Conservative Party received a donation of 88,000 from Lyubov Chernunkin, the wife of a former Russian deputy minister. In all, they have donated more than £2 million, so that would be about $3 million, more or less, to the Conservative Party since 2012. So it's easy to understand that they're, there's a reason they called it Londengrad.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Right.
So, hey, British, wake up.
Huh.
Maybe you shouldn't be selling citizenship to oligarchs. I mean, you've got enough of your own.
We started doing it in 1990.
Okay.
All right. Disturbing figure advising Putin's inner circle. What is going on here?
Wait, hold on. No, I got a thing about the citizenship. They're citizens, right?
Yeah.
That means you can subpoena them, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know this could be fun.
Yeah.
Start summoning the oligarchs' kids.
Yeah.
And now, oops, we don't know where they went. Sorry.
But they aren't coming back.
Let me know if they do. I don't have them.
So anyway, turns out Putin has his own little Rasputin. The guy's name is Alexander Gelyovich Dugin.
Greater Russia.
Greater Russia, neo-pagan, European fascism, wildly nationalistic, Eurasianism.
Yes, that was the one I wanted.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Promulgated in books with the torpid titles such as Foundation of Geopolitics and the Fourth Political Theory.
That's just cashing out.
So anyway, he does the long beard thing, right? Mm-hmm. He wants to sort of vaguely recall Rasputin, but he also wants to recall the Orthodox Catholic.
Of course. I'm sorry, but the religious are... Right, if I was trying to mount a thing of crazy, I would go to the building that stocks fucking crazy.
So here's the guy. I mean, he's always advocating Satanism and the Waffen-SS, and, there are places where he would have been dismissed as a crank. I don't think we'd dismiss him as a crank over here now.
Well, that's where the neo-paganism comes in. That's what the QAnon shaman was all about.
And it turns out his Foundations of Geopolitics has been required reading for students at the Military Academy of the General Staff of the Armed Forces for a generation.
Yeah.
So, again, Putin says he's fighting Nazis. No, Putin is the Nazi.
Yeah.
Right? That's who these people are. So, call them what they are.
Russians, they turned you into the fascists.
Yeah, they did. You lost the Second World War.
Yeah. It took a long time, but...
Yep.
All right, tell me about Greg Abbott disrupting U.S. food
Oh, yeah, so
supply.
Greg Abbott's trying to play the cool guy, and he's going to go out there, and he's going to do some special state inspections on the vehicles coming across the border, because Biden...
watch that episode.
Anyway, so he's managed to produce 15, 20, 30-hour delays at the border, and longer. I think now it's measured in days. Of course, at this time of year, a lot of the vegetables are coming up from Mexico, and so we're seeing shortages of vegetables across the southwestern and western U.S. Organization after organization having their orders canceled or told they can't be delivered or whatever. So, and it's all Greg Abbott, right? So this is Abbotflation. So, anyway, Abbott shortages. Anyway, it looks like today he may have pulled his tail back between his legs where it usually is and backed off some of it. We'll see.
All right. If nothing else, all that bribery money going elsewhere. And no more bullshit seizures for Border Patrol to pretend that we found all the meth.
So anyway, when you go to your grocery store and can't find vegetables this weekend, you'll understand if that's Greg Abbott trying to help America.
Yeah, trying to show that he's bona fide, because I assume he's running for president.
All right, Boomer Rex is about damn time.
Oh, I love it. So we finally have Dustin Thompson. He's an Ohio man. He's charged with his role in the January 6th. And his lawyers are saying, there's no question that his client took part in that horrible event that interrupted a, quote, solemn and sacred proceeding. But the genesis of that attack began months before, and the responsibility falls at the feet of Donald Trump, who authorized and encouraged the assault on the Capitol.
Yeah.
So I love it when they say it out loud. He betrayed them, now they can betray him. It sounds fun.
Yeah.
So I love it. It's exactly what you want, folks, going out and saying.
Right? Hold on a sec.
All right, and we're back to Dumbass du jour.
I
love this one. So Russia said Wednesday it has put sanctions on 398 members of the U.S. Congress.
Me too.
Oh, yeah. Sit there and go, I can't go to your shithole country. I can't buy the little nesting dolls. Oh, my God, it's the end of life as we know it. And they've been sending home, foreign service folks right and left. And when they got informed that they had been.
Oh no! I can't be stationed there again.
Don't have to live in this shithole country for another week.
At some level, based on this now, like
God.
It was one thing during the Cold War to be stationed in Russia. I think now this has got to be the State Department equivalent of the FBI is sending you to Iowa.
Oh yeah.
Go count corn, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't know what you did wrong, but
anyway, so we're getting into the tit for tat, and it turns out.
We have bigger tits?
Or tats. Yeah, one or the
Probably
other.
Probably both.
Yeah. So who would care about being sanctioned by Russia?
Especially at least this Russia.
Yeah.
90s Russia when there was a dream and a hope and maybe.
Where it might have been an interesting place to be for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Anyway.
All right.
And the last place I'd want to invest right now is Russia. Because, dear Russians, it's just getting started. You ain't seen nothing yet.
God, I wish I had faith in that.
So new video. Iowa man babbles at Chuck Grassley.
That was... First off, that was... I'll let you tell the thing. Because it was his John McCain moment, right? He should have gone out and put his hand around it and then no. That's... The internet's lied to you, buddy.
I'm sorry, but it's not my job to report his John McCain moment, and I didn't.
Oh, no, I'm laughing at the fact that he missed it.
Yeah.
He absolutely whiffed the fucking thing. He responded to the guy. Yeah. He didn't definitively declare, no, that's some QAnon bullshit.
Yeah. So anyway, I love it when it happens to their people.
And QAnon's
Chuck Grassley's out.
Resort.
Chuck Grassley's out doing a little grassroots meeting thing, and an Iowa man who is opposed to America giving military aid to Ukraine confronted him and spouted, this is at the Iowa starting line. He says, I want to know that you know about the biolabs and the financing Putin has stopped over in Ukraine, and
I don't trust him.
And the neo-Nazis and the Nazis and the pedophilia and the
I know
Putin's
two
there
things about this
stopping
guy. 3 things. He was molested. He wasn't in the military, and he doesn't have a degree in science, let alone in advanced science.
Right. So
not in a mean way. Like, I don't hold that against him, and I feel bad about the probably getting molested thing, and I'm willing to bet it happened in a big building with bells. But
so anyway, Grassley did push back. He said he didn't think they had a bigger problem with pedophilia than anybody else, and that the biolabs were perfectly normal biolabs.
In exchange for giving.
And then the man said, well, but what about the Nazis? What about the Nazis? And Grassley pointed out correctly
for sure
that he thought it was unlikely that Nazis would follow a Jewish president like Vladimir Zelensky.
Yep.
So, anyway.
But that's why the guy responded with, but he's a comedian.
But he's a comedian.
Yeah, it's the same thing as an actor. Plus, the right wing is pushing hard into their recruitment centers. Right wing. That they've been called out on a lot of this, right? A lot of the recruitment starts with ironically saying the stuff, right? It's like when I was 15, I used to laugh at South Park because they said all the inappropriate things. And when you're a 15-year-old and, right, not horribly fucked up country,
yeah,
you get to try on a lot of contrarian hats for fun.
Yeah.
Right. And the problem with that is most of these kids started saying shit ironically, and sooner or later there's no one around who talks to you anymore except actual Nazis.
Yeah.
And humans will go, right, humans will follow their peer group anywhere.
All right. So next up, Colombia has said it is now ready to step up energy supplies to the West to replace Russian imports.
Colombia, you say?
Colombia. Now, there are limits to what they can do. They can do coal immediately, but there's other stuff they can do.
Charge of Venezuela.
Yeah, we could do that.
What happens when 7 aircraft carriers rock up on... I don't think Venezuela's big enough.
But they can ramp up their oil and gas extraction. They can immediately ship mountains of coal.
Yeah.
And since I think it had to be put on boats anyway, it's probably not going to be much more expensive. So,
anyway. And I liked your idea. We should just start seizing the oil ships.
Yeah.
Start putting that
if there's a ship on the high seas with Russian oil, I'd be perfectly happy to have us seize it.
Yeah.
Sell the oil, sell the ship.
Wouldn't sell the oil. I would refine the oil. I would just put it into the U.S. supply chain. So yes, eventually we will sell the oil.
Okay.
Fine. Oh, sorry. No, I would use it to drive U.S. Gas prices artificially low.
Oh, okay. We can do that. I'd like that. So anyway, it's great. And let's see, what was up next? The Roberts Court is over.
Yes.
And I technically think it really is. He joined the dissent about the use of the
shadow docket.
The shadow docket, right, to make a ruling on some relatively trivial environmental regulation by extending the Trump relaxation of that rule that allowed companies to petition to just dump raw sewage wherever the fuck they wanted to, which is
not good.
Right. Well, certainly not good for working folks. It's good for the Republicans and their donors. And, if you do something good for Republican donors, I mean, and
that 80-year-old
Republican politicians, right?
Yeah.
They get sold, they stay sold. What can I tell you?
That 80-year-old who's going to skate on his $2 billion tax fraud because he's too demented to whatever. And, that's cool. I'd like to see the conservatorship.
Yep.
Oh, no, buddy.
Yeah.
You
don't get to live in... You can live in the doghouse.
You can live in whatever your kids or somebody decides because you're not in charge. You're too crazy. If you're too crazy to go to jail, you're too crazy to have stolen $2 billion.
Did you quote the CDC or the World Health Organization?
I think it was from the CDC.
Okay, cool.
We're fighting the thing.
Okay, never mind.
So, anyway, what else we got? Oh, God. If you'd ever wondered if Putin was a loser, and I mean just a stone loser, look no further than the fact that Norway and Sweden are now talking quite seriously about joining NATO.
Thanks, Putin.
Yeah, we needed more members of NATO. And that will more than double the NATO border.
That makes us halfway to owning Sweden.
Yeah.
And the Swedish bikini team.
So anyway, we will see where it goes. But this was something he was trying to discourage. He was trying to knock down NATO. And Putin has single-handedly done something that I'm not sure that NATO could have done for itself, which is to reunite the organization, give them a common enemy, and make them remember why the hell NATO exists.
Putin has reduced Russia to a Chinese cat's paw.
Yeah.
And not a very effective one, which should scare the living shit out of the people in charge of Russia and the people who live in her.
Yep.
Because China is not one to keep investing in losing bets for very long.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Russia had a chance of joining the First World. what they had to do was they had to have a decent government, they had to have rule of law, and they had to have sensible leadership. They have none of those.
Yep.
They're a third world country, and they're going to be for the next 30 years.
Right. And part of this is our chickens coming home to roost. We pushed really hard at the end of that and got them out into some weird places.
Yep. So anyway, did I say Norway? It's Finland. Sorry. So Finland and Sweden are talking about.
And talking about doing it quickly.
Yeah.
Weeks, not months, was the phrase I
Well,
saw.
the Finnish have finished their study.
Yeah.
Their army is already well integrated with NATO.
Yep.
Right? It's a very simple thing for them to join. And at that point, right, when Putin wanders up to the Finnish border and rattles his saber, we can put 7th Corps on the other side of the Finnish border and say, do you really want to lose that many tanks
Is
in
how
an
the humans
afternoon?
all go away?
Yeah.
Is
So-
this the last page in the history books?
All right. I could read the same Omicron update as last night, but
Nah, no point. Let's
okay,
move on to climate
which
weirding.
was taken from CDC. Climate weirding, I did not update. Again, the big things on climate weirding are
Tornadoes and storms going through.
tornadoes and
Yep,
storms,
again.
well, and more
Tonight.
moisture in the air,
Yep.
right? So that the hurricanes were wetter, which is not a good thing.
Yep.
Yeah, that means bigger inland flooding and so on. All these things that you don't want.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep doing it. You keep making the Gulf of Mexico warmer and see what the hell happens.
That'll be fine.
And then India, which is approaching the point that people without air conditioning will die.
Yeah.
So
Fine.
period. They can go sit in the shade and die, which is probably nicer.
Yeah.
It can, in fact, be too hot and too wet for people to live.
Yep.
And India's getting there.
Well, and India's got a big portion of their population. They can't get into cooling centers.
So anyway.
Yeah.
Keep working it.
Yeah, no, good. Keep in mind, you know.
Bipolar India.
What good things happened today?
The Moscow got abandoned. The Russian
No.
ship that started shit with the Border Patrol boys. That got this all kicked off with the Russian warship. Go
So
fuck
the
yourself.
Ukrainians say they landed 2 missiles on it. The Russians are saying, oh no, it was a fire and it set off some of the munitions.
I
Well,
assume
you know
that's
what,
happens
guys?
when the Neptune
That's
missile
what
hits you.
happens when a Neptune missile hits you. So
A pity it
Any-
wasn't
somebody,
below your water
um,
line.
it's not going to be a problem. Somebody with a satellite will get a picture.
Yeah.
And you will see the holes in the deck where the missiles entered.
Yep.
So,
Or not.
Yeah.
Ukraine, do not get caught lying. It's the one thing I can tell you.
yeah, please don't do that.
Yeah.
All right. So,
You got anything, Risen?
No, just the short show tonight.
Yeah.
okay.
It's been pretty quiet.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I had that one thing that I had found that infuriated me that I felt the need to yell about. But
Cool.
Other than that, no, it's been quiet. Not much going on.
All
So,
righty.
short show for y'all tonight. But
Go do more interesting things.
Yeah.
And while you're at it, send us money, like, comment, subscribe.
yeah, go to our Patreon, and you can get there by going to BoomerRexTonight, no spaces. Give us $1. You can find us on YouTube as BoomerRex, or check your favorite podcasting service for BoomerRexTonight. We can be found on over a dozen different platforms, including Podbean. Did I say Podbean?
You said pot bean. Yeah.
And hit us up on Twitter at BRexTonight.
That's all right. I said Norway instead of Finland. It's easy
One
to
of those
do.
days.
Yeah.
Good night, the
We
internet.
love y'all. Bye.